Hey, everybody. Welcome to another podcast, the Outlandish podcast, A View from the Ridge. And today we'll be discussing Outlander season 8, final season, episode number 5, called Send for the Devil, which to me sounds like a Motley Crue album from back in the 80s. So let's go.
Let's dive in.
Jodi's here, Tracy and Julie. Hi, ladies.
Hi. Good morning.
We're excited to be able to talk about the episode. How many times, show of hands, did you watch the episode so far?
Just once.
Okay.
Just once.
All right. So I usually do it like once when I'm kind of paying attention. And then the second one, I took full notes here about each thing. But I know that there's still something that I'm going to end up missing. And that's why I love this little chat, because you guys will definitely fill me in. We are going to make our way to the big Cunningham Jamie confrontation. But before we get there, I figured we would start with William's storyline once again, and maybe just talk about the fact that he had a great conversation with Brianna that seemed to maybe hint that there's going to be some more William Jamie interaction coming up in the future.
Yeah. I love that, brother, sister, time that they had. And I thought it was really sweet. And I thought that Brianna really kind of shared some very personal things with him about herself that she thought could help him in terms of, him being able to accept or come to terms with, or maybe even be able to, have a relationship with Jamie. And it was interesting that she even said, she's like, everyone lied to me my whole life. And you forget, sometimes you forget that. But I mean, that's kind of a huge deal for her. And that's something that they really share in common, is that, he also has been lied to his entire life about who his parents are, so
I feel like
his father, I should say, not his mother.
And I feel like it's a little different because he doesn't know that Brianna went to the future. And so that's why they lied to her. So she kind of like made it seem a little bit more like him. Oh, they just lied to me, rather than giving him the full truth, which I don't know. Will that ever come out? Will William ever?
That's what's kind of funny, is that she's talking about she was lied to like her whole life up until the age of 19, and then she's lying to him in a way.
Right.
Or at least
by the way, we're time travelers.
That's kind of a big thing to drop on someone. I thought that was, but I really like just the commonalities between them as siblings. And, and when she said that she wanted to go and like look for Roger, like I knew that he was going to, like before he even said that he would accompany her, he's just like Jamie. He's such a stand-up guy. He's always going to do the right thing. And he's always going to help those that are around him. Like I really love his development. It was really great.
I really liked how Brianna was showing him, to your point, Tracy, that you can go through that kind of family turmoil and come out the other side of it and have a different relationship than you ever thought possible with the person that at first you had a very adversarial relationship with, or you didn't want anything to do with them. So it's nice to see, her kind of story arc. I also know that we had some thoughts on the writing that was given to Brianna in earlier episodes, or just the way that she was playing it. But I do think Sophie Skelton plays kind of this version of Brianna really well. That kind of sisterly, she's more mature now. And it was just a great exchange between the two of them.
I do have to say, though, I have to talk about the painting, because like a second they panned to, I was almost hoping they didn't show us, because I was going to be disappointed no matter what. Like if it was terrible.
Why?
I just thought it was too good. Come on. It looked like a Rembrandt. We're talking about like Brianna Fraser here. I don't know.
That's true.
Or
no, that's true.
Yeah. It was too good for me,
Right. Yeah. Right. No, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
And the lighting was so perfect. I was like, oh my God, what is she? Like a Renaissance painter? Like what is happening here?
Right.
So,
and she got pretty far along. I mean, I don't know how many days had passed, but that looked like that was like a lot of work had gone into that already.
That's when I realized it's a TV show, and Heather, you just need to get past that,
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they wouldn't have called for her if she wasn't somewhat good at art, right? And painting.
That's true. Somewhat good.
Right.
Look all those sketches of everyone. You know, I don't know. I don't know if we've ever seen her paint before. I feel like we've seen her draw.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, well,
she did a lot of sketches of like Stephen Bonnet's face.
Yeah.
And Jemmy's face when he was little.
Yeah. I love the fact that they can still go to Michael's and get a canvas back in that day. So.
And she had beautiful paintbrushes too.
That's what I'm saying, you know.
Yeah,
but
maybe she got those at the Mercantile before she
the trading post.
Yeah. So let's go to you know, they have a conversation several times. There's cannons going off in the background. Then it becomes inevitable realization that there's actually war going on. She's worried about Roger. William does say that he is going to go with her the next day to go find out what happened. So that's very nice. I was glad that she wasn't taking off in the middle of the night to go find him herself, because that's very Outlander. But then we need to talk about William and Amaranthus.
Yeah. I mean, so maybe it would have been better if they left in the middle of the night, because he basically, you know, has sex with Amaranthus.
Okay,
outside.
question.
Yes.
Did they have sex?
Yeah,
I think they did.
I think they did. She turned around and was like sitting on top of him.
Okay, but like, you know.
And it's Outlander sex where that kind of positioning works. Because in the real world, we all know that doesn't work.
The other thing is
the dress and the corsets and all of the stuff that she was wearing. But the whole thing is that, like, it's always about the timing, right? So then they go to the next day to look for Roger, and he finds his cousin. And so I'm thinking, like, the minute he went to that camp, I'm like, oh, he's going to see Ben. Ben is going to be there. Because I kept thinking,
thought that?
Did he defect?
I really thought that maybe he defected. And I think Amaranthus is on the side of the rebels too. Like, she says her dad's like some bookstore guy, like just like Fergus, where all of these things are happening behind the scenes. I'm not sure, you know, what her angle is, but she's very quick to switch from Ben to William. Like, it seems kind of calculated. I don't think she loves him. She barely knows him. But I feel like this is going to be one of these situations yet again in Outlander where she's going to become pregnant from this one instance, and it's going to be someone else raising another child, like, that's married to somebody else or some storyline like that. I mean,
so like, we are very much.
When William sees Ben, he's like so happy, and then he hits him.
Oh, that was great. That was a great. I knew that was coming. I totally knew that. And he deserved, right? Ben deserved it, 100%. Right? You know, like, he totally deserved it. But yeah, I mean, we are off book at this point in the sense that the very end of Written in My Own Heart's Blood, crazy book readers will probably check me on this, which is totally fine. But I feel like they don't find Ben until the very end of that book. And so we don't get to see, I'm sorry, not Written in My Heart's Own Blood. Go Tell the Bees I'm Gone. So we don't know what the continuation of this story is yet. So that's kind of exciting that we're going to get to see that on screen, what hasn't yet occurred in the books, what is presumably going to be in book 10.
As a non-book reader, my initial thoughts go to Amaranthus. Does she know that her husband had this turncoat plan? And is she in on it? Because I'm sus about her, right? Like, I was wondering her motives. So,
and did you see her face? She's sitting in that scene before,
she's waiting for him,
walking up, with this look on her face, this devilish look, like, oh, he's coming. I'm gonna nail him.
I'm gonna seduce him.
And she's the one that picked his hand up and put it on her thigh. Yeah. Like, she's going for something here, and I don't trust her.
She basically said, like, we can have a baby first and then get married. I mean, this is a lady. This is not like a commoner. I mean, I was like, that's interesting. Okay.
Right. She's throwing all sense of propriety out the window, which is very odd for a woman of her era.
Yes. I mean, and you've got William saying, like, well, I'll promise to marry you, and my word is, good enough. And we know William, and his word is good enough, but you can't marry someone that's already married. So now that her husband's back in the picture.
Right. Well,
is there a chance? Is there a chance that Ben, her husband, said, you know what, I'm going to go do this. Why don't you get yourself a place where you're in a good place? And why don't you go do it with my cousins? Because I know he'll take care of you, because he's an honorable man.
I don't think it was that planned
Okay.
through.
Right,
Yeah,
good.
I don't think it was that planned through. I think maybe I don't know what did Amaranthus know? What did she not know about Ben's disappearance? Perhaps she is um perhaps she's angry with him, sort of secretly that he left her. And she
But she
thinks,
had
well,
all
I
his belongings in the drawer still,
She didn't
like
really
that's
seem
true.
to care about it though. Like she was like dismissive of that stuff, and then she just went right back to William. But what I think is interesting is really the question is, were she and Ben in cahoots? And did she know that he was really on the side of the rebels? Because I think she is, but I'm not so sure she knew he was. Like she married a British officer. And then when he left, she found someone else that's aligned with the crown. I mean, William, even though he's not in the army anymore, he's not a rebel.
okay,
Like he's
what
on the
if
British?
what if she is the one that converted Ben and now she's trying to convert William and that's
Possible.
her mission?
Mm.
That's her character's mission and
Yeah.
sent out by her father, who's a shoe guy?
A books,
A
book
bookseller, a shoe guy,
Book, shoes, I can't remember.
shoes.
a cobbler.
Yes.
Really into bugs.
Right.
That's why she made that vest and she wants him to wear it again, that fancy
Yeah.
vest.
I don't know.
And I felt the same way you did, Heather, about were they really having sex or not? And I happened to see a behind the scenes that Sophie posted of Sophie and Charles like having banter, and she's like, "You need to get up. You have to go sleep with Amaranthus now." So that's what solidified it this morning.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, so they really did, because
Yeah, because we all know when you're like, you're young and in love sometimes.
It's Outlander. Yeah.
I
You
feel
don't
like
need to be
just think
naked.
that, like, you know what? Everything is consequential in this season. I don't think they'd show us just a hookup. Like, I think that she's going to get pregnant. Like, I don't really
Yeah.
see that they're like, I don't think it's going to be this. I mean, there's the parallel of, right? They think her husband's dead. So she has sex with William. It's like Lord John has sex with Claire when they think Jamie's dead. It's like the same kind of
That's
thing.
for a different reason,
same
though.
thing, right?
But it's a very similar thing. But I feel like the consequence here is there has to be some, like with that, it's like the Jamie Claire thing is like, you never think that Claire is going to be with anybody else.
Right.
But here we don't know these characters enough. So I feel like there has to be some big consequence. And I think she's going to be pregnant.
I mean, it's also like Jamie and Leary. Like, he thought she was never coming back.
Right.
Claire.
Right.
And so she showed up, and boom! Oh wait, I'm now married to 2 women because never declared dead. Yep, surprise.
Can we chat about Roger and his story arc in this episode?
I loved it.
I loved it so much. And I loved how, like, kudos to Rick Rankin, because he really played that conflict, that inner conflict that Roger has between, I am, a man of God, a man of the cloth, and yet I know what's going to happen, right? I know the Americans are going to win. I'm not a soldier, but I'm forced into this position. Yes, I have a sword, but do I use the sword or do I use my healing hands? And I just love how they played out that conflict with him in this episode.
Yeah.
It was perfect. I mean, the minute he brought the first person to the medical area, I knew that it was going to click, and he was going to realize, like, that's why I'm here. And I knew he was going to go back and get more people and bring them. I thought it was so neat that Denzel Hunter was the doctor there. I mean, it's a little like, again, it's Outlander. So it's like, of course, right? There aren't like lots of battles happening all over the place, but here he is.
You forget who knows who. Because
Roger and Bree were in the future when everyone else met them.
Right.
So he doesn't know, like, it just, I don't know. They don't really say, it's like, oh, we figured that out this morning that we know each other. It's like,
I like that we didn't have to see it. Yeah. I didn't like that. But I thought it was funny because in my brain, I'm like, quick catalog. Like, do they know each other? Is this, and they didn't. And I was like, yeah, you sometimes forget who knows each other and who doesn't, and then are they going to figure it out? I thought that was cool.
What I really loved about Roger, though, just going back to him helping everyone, is that that's who he is at his core. Like, he couldn't live with himself if he didn't help other people. Like, he could have very easily just saved himself and stayed by the medical area and gone away from where like the fighting was happening, and he didn't. Like, he risked his life to go back in because that's just who he is. And I love that aspect of his character.
What do you think about the little boy who I will now, Christoph, I will call him the little drummer boy.
Yeah.
Because he was, and him speaking French and saying,
"Oh, je suis prêt."
Yeah, I love that little nod.
That was a nod, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, they're doing that a lot. They're doing that a lot this season. I mean, we saw it with Claire fixing Elspeth's shoulder, and now we saw it with Claire fixing up Jamie, which is similar to season 1. Yeah, they're doing nice little gifts, like nice little winks to the fans without being like, I don't need a montage a la like the end of the Twilight series, which I love dearly, but it was very, very cheesy, and we don't need that in Outlander.
I think the most interesting part about Roger's story this time is the little vision, the little flash of. So what is that? So we saw a little bit of that same thing, right, in season 7, where he appears to be falling. So a cannon goes off. There's an explosion where he goes flying backwards, and we see almost like Roger as a little boy being caught in the arms of his dad.
Yeah. So that's actually from one of the novellas, and so this is like not one of the main Outlander books. And I thought it was kind of neat that they included it, because I haven't read all of the Outlander books, but I have read some of the novellas and some of the Lord John stories.
Did you read this one?
I did. And
because this was the biggest, when I read them, this was one of the biggest, oh my God, moments of the entire series.
You've got Roger goes back into, like when he like thinks he's looking for his kids and stuff, but he winds up finding his dad. He basically sends his dad back to the future. And he sends him back, and his dad saves his life. So it's one of those loops, right? So they're in this train station at Roger's with his mother, and it's being bombed, and she's trying to protect him, and they get trapped. And the dad, Roger's dad, comes to, rescue them. And then they realize that he can't rescue both of them because she's trapped. But the mother throws Roger to his father, and he catches him. And so that's the memory that Roger has, but he's so little that he doesn't remember it. It's just like in him. Like, so he'll have like flashes of it, but he doesn't know the story. And then his father dies. Like, his father basically dies, saving his life.
So was this necessary that we saw this, or was it?
I think it goes to Blood of My Blood.
So I think it was a fan moment, right?
Yeah, you're right. Actually, it probably will tie to Blood of My Blood. Because that's the story of all of the parents and things like that.
Right. I do think it's both. I think it's one of those nod to the book readers, as well as for non-book readers, some kind of enticement to, maybe we get those answers in Blood of My Blood.
Okay. All right. Interesting. All right. So let's move on and talk about the whole conversation about, okay, Jamie and Claire are together. They need to figure out and come up with a plan or a scheme. And then it's there's a reference to the fact that, this is just a plan. So there's no guarantees. There's even a line somewhere in the conversation about mice and men. Did you catch that? Obviously, and so John Steinbeck, that's where we all know that from, the story of, Lenny. And I did some research, and it turns out that origins of that line, the best laid plans or the best laid scheme of mice and men, comes from Robert Burns, who is the.
Well, that's what they said. They're like, Claire says it was originally written by a Scot or something.
Yes. And so Robert Burns, obviously the poet of Scotland, right? He wrote that, and it's called like Of a Mouse or something like that.
Interesting.
I love that you went and did that literary deep dive for us, Heather.
And
thank you.
I was trying to figure out the timeline of this, and then I was like, okay, Heather, just accept it. Robert put out that poem in 1785.
What
so
year
Claire's
are we
the
in
only
now?
one that knows. So Claire's the only one that knows it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
So,
great.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So she would know both the poem and the play.
Right. But I was wondering how Jamie knew it.
From Claire. She's given him things like, that's the whole like whiskey and gang together, like, and then it's like printed in the book, and
whiskey and freedom gang together.
Freedom gang together. And when Claire's doing that research, and when Roger finds it, and he was like, look, this was printed in 17 whatever, but that wasn't written until later. She knew that Jamie was the one because she had told him that in the past.
And that was when it was A. Malcolm, and that's when they figured it out. Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. The whole sequence of this, Mr. Whitaker, right? Is that his name?
Yeah. Aaron Whitaker.
Coming into the, coming out from the woods and warning Jamie. I mean, my husband was like, my heart is pounding, like the whole lead up. It was definitely one of those quintessential Outlander, I mean, not battle per se. It felt a little bit more like when they went and rescued Claire from the Browns, where it was like that small scale man-to-man kind of combat. But let's dive into the kind of the lead up, the Masonic Lodge, and then the trading post showdown at the trading post.
Well, I thought it was interesting that Whitaker would only talk to Jamie, that Claire and Buck were in the other room kind of listening, and then she's like, oh, bloody snake, because she's definitely listening. So he didn't have to recount the whole conversation again. So Cunningham has plans to take Jamie, capture. He's not going to kill him. At least that's the plan. And bring him to Ferguson, who then will eventually hang him because he's collecting rebels. Mm-hmm. And so they decide, all right, well, let's do this whole thing at the lodge. When he was focusing on Lizzie putting out the flowers or putting something in the field, I was like, oh, she's definitely leaving something for him. Wasn't quite sure what it was, assumed it was a gun. I guess the rule is that you don't take weapons into the lodge, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he says that would be a good place to do it. They end up having the meeting at the lodge. Now, prior to that, he sent Josiah out with a note and said this, right, bring this to the devil, or send this to the devil, which is the name of the episode. I didn't know that he was going for Cleveland.
Me neither.
I didn't either.
I was racking my brain as to like, I just kept thinking it was going to be someone from like their past. I wasn't thinking that it was one of the newer characters. Yeah. And so I'm like, is it someone from Scotland? Is it someone from Philadelphia? Is it like all of the places that they had been? Who could this devil be? But I think they did that on purpose. I think they didn't want you to know who it was until the end. But yeah, so that was really interesting. And you got the sense that, if they made it in time, they were going to stop these people from coming to the ridge. But obviously they were a little late.
I actually thought that the note was going to Cunningham. I thought it was a note to like say like, hey, let's meet and talk.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I didn't feel like he was sending for someone. I thought he was just helping with the setup and saying like, let's meet at dawn, like one of those things.
Like
and let's have a chat. I thought, and that's why there was some urgency. Like, let's talk this out before you go and do something drastic and try and send me to Ferguson. Right. But boy, was I wrong. So,
yeah. And I love the duality of, Claire, again, she's waiting by the window and, the Wicked Witch of the West appears again, to wait with her. And it's such an interesting, I don't know, again, the duality of Elspeth as a character of, I'm going to sit and wait with you and pray with you, but we are very much not on the same side.
No, we're praying for completely different outcomes here.
Right.
And, Julie, before you hopped on, we talked about this a little bit. I'm like, wow, Claire is just like a better person than I am, because the minute Elspeth says that, like, well, I have this comfort because, I know my son's going to live another 5 years or whatever. I would have
Right.
been like, get your old ass out of my house. You're done. We're not sitting here anymore. I don't care. Like, if
I'm
you're
not
old
sharing
and
my whiskey with you.
decrepit, I'm not sitting here anymore with you. Like, I really wouldn't have been able to entertain someone that wanted my husband dead
Yeah, she said, "What
or captured."
your husband is a pardoned rebel and therefore ready for execution."
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
like,
That would
what?
have been like, and here's the door.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
Sure.
here's
Yeah.
the glass of whiskey in your face, and
Right.
then here's the door.
Right.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna pop that shoulder back out. How about that?
I mean, I was really like, wow, Claire, you are just showing a lot of restraint that I don't think that I would be able to in this situation.
Yeah, I agree. I did think it was funny. Like, let's pray, and then they both take a sip of whiskey. I'm like, that's how we pray, huh?
That's how we
Yeah.
pray. Yeah. It reminded me a little bit of when she was healing John Gray and they were having a conversation, and at that point they were sort of semi-adversaries because she's like, I know you're in love with my husband.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Guess what? That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And
Right.
she was much more adversarial with him, even as she was healing him. So yeah, interesting to see a lot of character maturation going on in this episode of characters, kind of showing how they've grown and deal with really tricky circumstances. And so in the lodge, I felt like they did a really great job. Like when I read the books, like you have that sense of dread because you're going in between, same as the episode, Claire and Elspeth waiting at the house for someone to come in dead, someone to come in wounded. And this big storm outside and this huge sense of dread. And then you go flick back to the scenes in the lodge and you're like, what's gonna happen? When is the ambush coming?
Jamie seemed to
And
be pretty sure that it wasn't going to happen in the lodge. And
Yeah.
then things started to change for him with the whisper and the guys leaving. And he was
Getting
like,
out.
all right. So to come up with an idea to have everyone close their eyes
It was great.
and
It
be
was
able to
perfect.
duck out.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's kind of genius.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. But it made me also wonder, like, how many people in the lodge knew what was about to happen, right? Like, we're all just sitting around pretending like we're just doing our regular weekly meeting. And you got to think that at least half of the people in the room know that they are about to fight the minute this breaks up. Like, this meeting is over.
We're taking down the landlord.
Yeah. I mean, and I felt like, it's Jamie's right. Like, this is his land. Like, these people are his tenants. Like, I mean, he had no choice. Like, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
well, and then, what about and I don't know, someone check me on this. Heather, did you research what Jamie was quoting?
Yes. And I don't know how to necessarily pronounce it. So I'm not going to.
Is it our growth?
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
but who says it? Who's the originator of the quote?
That I didn't go so far to do.
I thought it was maybe William Wallace, potentially.
It might be.
I had a little Mel Gibson, freedom
It was great, though.
in my head. No, but it was fantastic. And it was, again, that connection between Scottish rebels, right? Jacobite rebels and American rebels, right? Like those fighting for Scottish freedom, those fighting for American freedom. And, that was like a great moment of, I think, almost Jamie kind of saying, like, I'm fighting for this land. I'm fighting for this country
for
that I
freedom.
now call home.
And it's crazy too to think about the tension of a fight about to break out after a meeting where they are seemingly trying to help each other. They're like, who can help Mrs. Dickens or who can do this? And meanwhile they're all like,
I can
Right.
volunteer to do that.
Yeah.
I'll bring her some food.
Yeah, just showing that, like, as much as you try and help, you can't help the beast within,
Right.
Well, all of these wars, like, and battles, it's like, it's so interesting how they're just so isolated to where they are. Like, just the juxtaposition of, like, they're having this battle, fight, whatever you want to call it, while Claire and Elspeth are not that far away, just sitting in the house, right? Or even William and Brianna, they're hearing this war, and she's like painting a picture. She's just in the house, like, not that far away. It's so interesting to me.
Did anyone else notice the storm itself? Like that the
Yeah,
thunder and lightning were
they
happening at the
used a
same
lightning
time.
rig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like, I was like, what? Thunder and lightning doesn't happen like that.
Like usually one after the other.
Yeah, but I was going with it for dramatic effect. Again, try and appreciate the show, Heather.
You got to just let some things go.
Yeah.
But how about Buck coming through for Jamie in that scene? I mean, that was amazing.
Which I think is perfect that we had the conversation in the very beginning where do you think he knows that we killed his father?
Yeah.
Or that you killed his mother? Ha 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 ha. You know, like joking about
Let's
it.
not tell him that.
Let's not tell him that. So
Like
had they told him, would he have been so quick to save Jamie's life at that time?
Maybe not.
Maybe not. I do feel like he slept with his mother, guys.
Yeah. He also doesn't.
We have to remember that.
He also didn't know like they didn't raise him, right? So
right.
It's not like he had some strong connection to them other than the fact that he knew who they were because he met them when he time traveled, but he knows nothing about them. So if he found out, I mean, you could arguably, explain that they weren't Dougal wasn't terrible, but it was kind of like either Jamie or Dougal at that point.
Yeah.
But Galus was like pretty awful. I mean, I don't think Claire had any choice when she killed her.
Right.
She was trying to kill Brianna.
Yeah.
And Ian. She was ready to slaughter Ian. So.
And she'd already killed like how many husbands? And I mean, Galus is
human sacrifice. Yeah.
Do you think that Buck was shooting to kill, or you think that he like missed? No,
I think he was shooting to kill.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
And so they find out he's still alive. They bring him back to the big house, and
can we back up though and just talk about the scuffle between Jamie, between Jamie and Cunningham in the trading post?
Yes.
And Jamie's so much bigger, and he winds up like piercing him, and I'm thinking he's so much stronger. He could totally overtake him.
He's also 60. I mean, but they both are presumably.
Yeah. But I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I just love the hand-to-hand combat, and it was like showdown at the OK Corral, like very Western.
Choking, falling on the floor.
The table, and
using the drawer, and like whatever piece of wood was on the floor, like the piece of rope. Yeah. Like that was
probably
great.
Fun to film that. I would think that they were probably laughing a lot at some of the stuff they were doing. It was.
I read very quickly a brief interview with the guy who plays Cunningham. Because like at one point he's like pinning Jamie onto the table, and he's like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure there are other people who'd like to be in my same position right now, Sam." And like because Sam was wearing a kilt, like they had to. Because Cunningham was on top of him, it sort of avoided a handful of wardrobe malfunctions, which I thought was pretty funny. But I mean, I think it sort of shows, and again, foreshadowing, Jamie is fallible, right? Like he's not incapable of getting hurt.
And I think he's realizing the fragility of life. I mean, he's not the same warrior he was from season 1, like Culloden, where he's just like, charging into the battlefield. I mean, he fights only when he has to now. Like he could have killed Cunningham back in the trading post, like right when he confronted him, but he didn't. He thought about it. He was like, he's got people behind him. Like I have to be more thoughtful about this. And even then, like you would think like bloodthirst, like let's just finish him off. Nope. He comes in and look, Jamie's wounded. Cunningham is obviously wounded more seriously. If I were Claire, I would have gone straight to my husband and been like, let me take care of you. But she basically assesses the situation quickly, realizes that Fanny can help him until she can. And she starts to work on Cunningham, who literally almost killed her husband. And again, I'm like back to this, like, wow, you're a better person than I am, Claire, because I'm not so sure I would have been so kind.
But then it makes you wonder what's going to be the ramification of them saving Cunningham, because we go back all the way to the beginning where they don't kill Blackjack. They don't kill Stephen Bonnet. They don't kill, like, it's this pattern, but then something terrible happens, then they finally kill them. So what are we in for? What's going to be the devastation?
Yeah.
And even Jamie says when he comes back to Claire and they're talking about it, and he says, "I thought I was done for. Like I thought that this was going to be the end
Yeah.
until Buck shot Cunningham." So what are the ramifications of saving Cunningham? Is he
Letting
paralyzed?
him live. Absolutely.
Right.
You think they'd learn by now?
Right.
Right?
Right. But then again, I also think, Claire will never kill anybody, but in the opening episode, she kills to avenge her daughter. I don't think it happened. I think it was a dream. I think we're coming back to it later on because
Ooh.
she will never kill, even to avenge her daughter. I don't think it happened. And I don't know if
But they have that whole conversation afterwards. Like Jamie and Claire had that whole conversation in, I don't know, whatever inn they were staying at.
Yeah. I'd have to
So,
watch that again
I don't
because
know.
I still
Something's
think
off.
that was completely out of character.
yeah,
And
I
it
agree.
was very, very surprising. So I can see why you would think that maybe that was a dream. But we're not done with the whole like Jane, Fanny, Claire, how everyone's related. Like we could come back to that. I mean, who knows?
Well, they
Yeah.
kind of allude to it a little bit, and there's always seems to be some sort of French woven in different
Yeah.
places, and we don't even
Yeah.
know about fully about Fergus yet, and
Yeah.
how he's still related to all of them.
I know.
Um,
I need an org chart. I need a family tree.
A family tree.
And well, it's
Genealogy.
alleged, right?
Yes,
All of it's
alleged,
speculation.
right? Dotted lines. We're not quite sure yet.
Yeah.
Who's
I
related
mean,
to
there's a
whom.
lot going on.
Yeah.
But this was such a great episode. I mean, it was so fast paced, and I really felt like I was sitting on the edge of my seat, and I didn't really know what was going to happen. I mean, I didn't think Jamie was going to die because we know about the King's Mountain, and this is not King's Mountain. But clearly he was injured. With Roger, I didn't think he was going to die either because I didn't think that would end that way for him. But there are a lot of things that actually did happen. So it was really exciting. And then the ending with the devil shows up and we find out that it's our good old pal
Ben Cleveland. Yeah.
And now I wonder, he would string that guy up. Like, does he come? I mean, the episode ends, but does he come in the house and just kill Cunningham? He might.
Yeah, because Cunningham's still in the house, right?
Yeah,
he's still there, and we see the coming attractions for next week's episode.
But he's like a POW at this point now. In some ways,
but I guess you don't kill someone that's injured. But Cleveland's a kind of hothead. I mean, this guy is I get off on stringing up loyalists and showing people what happens if you align with the crown.
Right.
Part of me also wonders about Mr. Whitaker. Is he going to come back? Are they going to touch upon slavery? He made a point when we first met him that he was a free man and he had a free family. And I'm wondering if Jamie is going to be the one to block some type of slavery acquisition. I'm trying to figure that out too.
I just know there was a purpose, I think, for the conversation where Mr. Whitaker said, "Don't let it come back to them." That it was
exactly, and that makes me worried that they're going to be captured and become slaves, or is Jamie going to block that? Who's going to be the one that does it? I don't know. There's so much, but we only have 5 more episodes. I
know. It's like they have so much to wrap up, and I know the producer said there's going to be some things that get wrapped up and some things that won't.
Right.
Yeah. So we will have to wait and see.
My hope is that there's more time for Jamie and William. I really, really want that so badly for them. I don't know why. I mean, maybe I really want it for Jamie because, he's really had kind of a crap hand with being able to raise his kids and have a relationship with them. He really was shortchanged a lot in that department.
And the hard part is that Diana's writing this book.
Yeah.
And she's dropping excerpts left all the time. And if you read the excerpts, there is time with Jamie and
William.
Right. But not until book 10 and for very, very different reasons than probably what we're going to see in this season.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm wondering. When you watch Outlander as a book reader, you must watch it so differently than those who haven't read anything. Cause I'm just like along for the ride. I'm trying to guess. I'm trying to, analyze, look at lightning and thunder and stuff like that. And then when you see something happen that's different from the books, that must be shocking to you on a level that I don't even understand.
And
Yeah, it's distracting.
Yeah. I agree.
It's confusing. And I only read the first, I actually never finished book 3. I read 2.5 books. And, I get almost confused between my memories of like what happened in the show and what I read. There's like that I'm pretty sure it's from the book. It's like in like a well or a hot spring in the monastery.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That
Great
really
scene.
should have been in the show. Like
Great
that
scene.
was like probably one of my favorite
yes.
Book, scenes. And
wait, hold on a second. Look for hot springs, monastery.
Yeah.
What else?
End of book 1.
Yes and yes.
End of book 1.
They can't include everything in the show. So my thing is that, look, this show's going to end in 5 more episodes. I think I'm just going to go and read the books, finish reading the books after, because then it'll keep the story going for me and I'll learn some new things. And
I was saying to you guys over a text message how I think I watched seasons 1 through 5 of Outlander, then read all the books, so that as a viewer of seasons 6, 7, and now 8, I know the content before what's going to happen on screen. And it's tough because your brain is going through, oh, they made that decision. Oh, they consolidated 3 characters into 1. Or this character is going to do this piece of the action instead of this other character because they're not even touching on that character. That, there's nobody even playing that character. Or they change the storyline. And I'm still, Jodi, I know we were talking about Buck, and I don't know if Buck was the one who actually kills Cunningham. I don't know if Buck is actually back in the books.
So I did some deep dive. I did a quick search, and apparently in the book, Buck is the one that shoots him. And I didn't remember that either, but that's what pulled up, at least when I did a quick Google.
Okay, because I went back into that part of the book, and in the immediate aftermath, when they're trying to fix up Cunningham, and Claire is asking who shot him, because she's like, oh my God forbid Jamie was the one who shot him. Jamie's like, no, I didn't shoot him. I don't know who shot him.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, interesting.
Well, what's interesting too is I happened to be on Facebook this morning, and I followed Diana Gabaldon, and she said that she loved this episode, and she said, no surprise, a lot of it comes directly from the book.
Mm-hmm.
So, this was an episode where they didn't really veer that far off. So
Right.
Maybe he really did do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just remember I was the same as Julie, but Julie was way ahead of me. I watched 1 through 5, then I did all the audiobooks, and I would be driving to work, and I would have to pause, and I would text Julie, and I'd be like, Mrs. Bug! Like, there were like bombs dropped, and like I just remember texting Julie because I couldn't text Tracy because she hadn't watched. And there were definitely bombs. But I'm almost sad that I read so far ahead, because I think I really enjoyed watching
it like I do.
And then
what's going on?
I think I'm just gonna, when I'm on my break from nursing school, I think I'll go back and rewatch this whole season just with a different set of eyes, and also kind of knowing, I'm an anxious person, guys, and I'm like, oh man, how are they going to do this? And are we all going to be satisfied? And tongues will wag, and there's just going to be so much to digest. So I was
looking ahead on Wikipedia, and it has the listing and the title episodes, 1 through 10 for this season. And the final episode, it gives the writing credit to Diana.
Wow.
Oh, I thought she wrote the second to last episode.
Maybe that's true. Maybe I'm wrong.
It's the last 2, because I know that they film them in blocks of 2.
You're right.
That's
It's probably 9 then, and not
so
10,
maybe 9 and 10.
I do think that for anyone who's read the books that far along could have some disappointment. I think that if you're just watching the show and you don't know what goes on in the later books, like you're probably going to be more satisfied with the ending, is my guess. Like anything else like that.
So to kind of wrap things up a little bit, one thing's true for sure. We love the reunions. We love the hugs when Brianna and Roger come back to each other and hug. Everyone feels good, right? And when people see each other again, whether it's Denzel, meeting William again and their hug, that was awesome. Elspeth is a slapper. She slapped Jamie this episode.
Yeah.
And after slapping Fanny before.
Shot him in the back.
I don't think she's done. She's got to slap one more person before we're done.
Well, if she slaps Claire's going to slap her back.
Well, yeah.
And then she finally kick her out of the house like she should have the first time.
Exactly.
Sure.
Exactly.
Jamie in a kilt is never disappointing.
Oh,
free the knees.
How did we not talk about that?
The knees.
Oh, the knees.
Yeah. And then shirtless later on,
Oh, yeah.
It's all good.
It's great.
And so I say we make a plan to come back for the next episode, and this will be a plan that will come true.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. And then next weekend, by the way, Tartan Parade in New York City. Who's going? All right. That'll be fun.